I haven't made a video in a little bit because the neighbors have been cutting down their trees and it's been loud. And it's also, honestly, for whatever reason, been really emotional for me. I don't know why I just start crying. I'm just like, it's fine, it's fine. Everything's fine. They're just trees, right? But today is September 1st, and it's really important to me to check in with the energy and see what's going on. So let me do that. I might need to edit this because they showed me something scary, and regardless if there's scary things that's going to be happening, I'm not going to be talking about them. I'm going to flip it into the more neutral, happy side. So when you show me this cloud that's like covering over the sky, what do you mean by this? When you say that change is coming and you're showing me like electricity sparks not mixing well with water, what do you mean by this? When you show me two different forces stirring things up for things to be unplugged and powered down, what do you mean by that? You're showing me taking the voice from like the White House and turning the power down, turning the power off, taking the power away. What if they were in silence for a long time? I'm having a hard time with the chainsaws and the energy update. Let me shift gears into something else. Okay, whatever. I think something appropriate to shift gears to would be like, how do the trees feel? So let me tune into them. It feels like even though there's a lot going on, everything is still just love. That they serve their purpose for as long as a purpose wanted to be served. And now they will move on. They're showing me like that they're not dead, that they went into the ground and their spirit will just go elsewhere. Maybe you can protect me. How come I'm so sad? Hold on. I'm fine. I'm just having a hard time. And I'm a lady thing. They're showing me that Mother Nature, for every tree that goes down, like more good happens. They're showing me like the spirit of a tree moving and going somewhere else. So do the trees not reincarnate? No, they're like nature spirit trees. I feel like they're really wise. You know how when we say like, oh, my dog was a person in a past life because they have that mannerism, they were showing me that it almost reminds me, I've seen Lord of the Rings like once or twice because my boyfriend likes it. But they're showing me like in Lord of the Rings where I see another person watching. Are you crying too? In Lord of the Rings where there's a tree that's like old grandpa spirit. There's another person watching. Like, are we all crying? I gotta stop crying. Okay, I wanted to share this. That trees don't reincarnate to people, and they were making a joke of like, can you imagine that if an old soul tree were to be born into a baby, how boring, how slow they would be in their life. So the wisdom of the tree just goes to another and another and another old soul, wise soul. There's no hate, there's no anger, there's no like even injustice, I guess, except when it's a large area that's like acres and acres of trees being cut down. That does feel like there's repercussions for that, but for just like a small amount of trees, the spirit of the trees just move on elsewhere and grow into an old slow soul. Okay, so I was like, how can I stop crying? I just woke up. Well, I was editing videos. Well, this started like as soon as the chainsaw started. I was asking like, how can I be okay? And they were showing me that I'm just attached to the cycle. That's the end of the cycle. And the more that I can let that go, be at peace with that and release acknowledge the feelings, but then release them, then I can start to focus on like new growth and new things. I am growing a tomato plant and that makes me happy. So they're showing me like talking to that and giving it love. Also, I don't know if I already said acknowledging it, but it feels like it would be really good to say prayers and thank you. So what I've been saying a lot is the Hawaiian prayer, which is please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. So for all the trees that were cut down, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. Everything is okay. It is a circle of life, and these feelings kind of feel like when I see an animal on the side of the road, like it really bothers me. Why is that? Okay, same thing. I'm seeing like how precious and like innocent life can be and how harsh it can be taken away, but it's not harsh at all. Even the trauma of an incident, like such as dying, there's a surrendering to it. And even trees, this is cool, they're showing me this. So when people and animals pass away, this is confirmation, and I guess I've gathered that from readings, that they can't feel the feelings, that their body might be pulling away and like wincing and reacting a certain way because the body is supposed to be protecting itself, but we can't even like go back to remember like the feelings of the pain. Because there's a little bit of like shock, but there's a more spiritual release where we detach from our senses. So like the trees can't feel the pain of them being cut down, just like the animals can't feel the pain, just like supposedly. I feel like somebody who had a past life, what's it called? A near-death experience actually, would probably be like, nuh-uh, but I don't know. That's just what I've gathered. I had a good question. Can the trees feel pain? Yes, but not in the way that we do. It's not, this is gonna make me sad. It's not like a physical pain. It's not even an emotional pain. It's like a wronging kind of pain. You just said the opposite. But so I'm talking about like when there's like an axe, or like in our case, a chainsaw. Like what's going on? You just told me the opposite. You just told me that they didn't feel the pain, but now it's there is a pain, there is a sadness when there's like a hurt being done. Hold on. Okay, so it's not any better. It's not like a physical ow pain. It's a heart. It's not a heart pain, but it's kind of like a heart pain. It's like a soul pain. You're not making this better. But it doesn't hurt. It's just, yes, they can feel it. They know what's happening. But it doesn't hurt them in the way that it hurts us. There's an understanding. I feel like the lump in my throat is just getting worse. Okay, let me try and smooth this over. Okay, I asked what would make me feel better, and it was to know that life is such a gift, the gift of life, the gift of living, to live, to experience, to feel, to be able to feel the pain and sufferings, what they're saying, but I'm kind of like, those are terrible words. The ability to feel so deep on like both sides of the spectrum is such a gift, because when we're not in the physical, when we're in the non-physical, we can only imagine the feelings, we can only think about them. In fact, they're showing me, I guess like my mom, for example, that when we transition, being able to, like, we can't feel those feelings anymore, and so we can only like remember them. But then just being able to like remember a feeling sense is like doled down and not 100%. It's like in the small, it's under 50% that we're able to be like, I remember that happening. I remember it hurt, but I don't really remember the hurt. So that's nice. When we transition, when we cross over. Okay. So to wrap this up, September is bringing a lot of change. Change is really hard. Change is happening left and right. I mean, it's only a few hours into September in my reality, in my whatever, but I feel it. And there's also been a veil or a blurring. But we've always had the same message to like stay true to ourselves, stay strong, and like keep the love, keep the light. So that's still really important. No matter what happens, everything's going to be okay. And there's not really terrible things happening. It's just going to be change.